Man, I'm doing so good. You know, I read the Bible today.
Yo, this is start of forgiveness. We take it straight to the business. We give it up to the kingdom. So let's sit down with them sinners. We the disciples of Jesus. Y'all ambassadors to his kingdom. Trying to build up the remnant. Put together the pieces.
Yo, man, everybody, each and every one of y'all knows who it is. It's your big, bearded, Bible bearing buddy J. D. Jelly Donuts, the least of these and the chiefest sinner. Child of the Most High King, ambassador to his kingdom, and a disciple of Jesus Christ. Woo! I'm here with your main, the exalter of all excellence, formerly known as Baby Jake the Snake, presently known as Young Israel. We are the Remnant, and this is Father, Forgive Us. Man, first and foremost, we'd like to give all praise and honor due to the King of Kings and Lord of Lords, our Father, God, Jesus Christ. And big shots, all the love and respect out of our hearts to anybody tuning in right now. Mwah! Yo, what's up?
Why you always be pointing at me, bro? Like, you expect me to say something, but I'm not entertaining your shenanigans anymore. I am no longer participating in the pre-show shenanigans.
It's just so funny to me. The least of these and the chiefest sinner. Yo, that's just so hysterical to me. It was like the first time it just came so natural. The least of these. And I looked at the world, because it's like, that's outside. Y'all can't see, but that's outside. I was like, the least of these, the least of the world, and the chiefest. I just went to this side. And I was like, yo, I'm pointing straight at him. And then when I saw it on that episode, it was just, I just laughed. I was at work at my desk watching the episode. I was like, the least of these and the chiefest, like I just busted him out. Like, I can call myself the chiefest sinner, but call somebody else and just point you straight out, like bust you out in front of everybody, that just was funny to me. It was just funny. It was comical.
Aren't you the guy always talking about don't uncover your brother?
Yeah, I did. I actually was talking to somebody else the other day. I was actually just talking to somebody about that. Like, man, you know, it says in the Word of God, what you're talking about, it says, don't be uncovering your brother. You know what I'm saying? Because then the sin's cast upon you. Like, just because he's doing bad, man, hide his sin. Go to him, help him out, love him back to health. You know what I'm saying? Uncovering him and busting him out in front of everybody's just going to make him want to not come around anybody else. You know what I'm saying? And then you're just that much further away from anybody. That's what we want to do, is be secluded. You know what I mean? Not come around the kingdom people.
And that's an easy trap to fall into, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Which, you know, I was talking to somebody this week, and it was like, we were having a conversation, like, there was somebody else that, you know, they were asking me to be around to kind of influence them. I was like, well, you know, you're a product of the 5 people that you spend the most time with, right? And I said, so yeah, if that person stops spending time with the people they're spending time with and start spending more time with people doing positive things and doing kingdom things, the odds of them doing that, right, and that rubbing off on them is very, very high, and the likelihood of them to start picking those traits up is more likely. But at the same time, though, me being me and the way I think, I'm like, but what happens when I start being around them? How much of what they got going on rubs off on me? And that's the thing you got to be careful of, because you can't seclude yourself into a bubble and not be around people, or you're not helping anybody. You know what I'm saying? But that's why you got to be so right with the Lord and so in line with His will, and pray constantly, you know, so that you don't fall into those traps of other people, because it is true. You end up picking up around what's around you. You know what I'm saying?
You take some dirty shoes onto some white carpet, it doesn't make the carpet clean.
Exactly, you know what I'm saying?
And it doesn't make the shoes clean either. You know what I'm saying?
It's such a tough thing to
but it can make the carpet dirty.
To get yourself away from all that in the first place, but to be around somebody who's not doing that, yeah, you got to be there for them, but you got to be very, very careful not to have them rub off on you, and that's the part that you got to protect yourself at. And I'm not quite, I feel like I don't know the answer to that and how to appropriately or actually do that just yet. And I'm sure that there'll come a point, you know what I'm saying, where it's like, okay, well, I'm so aligned with the Spirit, it doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? But my biggest fear is going around these people and backsliding. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, I learned a lot of, there's a lot of spirituality in secular rehabilitation programs. And I work a lot with chemically addicted people, and so in those programs, what they say is that you have to immediately change your play pals and your playgrounds. Right. You know what I'm saying? So you got to take yourself out, get some different play pals to do and play some different games.
Right.
Because if you're with the same people, you're just going to end up playing on the same playground, doing drugs and alcohol and whatever else you were doing that got you in the place that you're in. But then there's a point in time where, like you said, I can't be effective to help save anybody else's or to pass along the message of God or sobriety or whatever message you're trying to spread that's a good, life message and helping yourself to live longer. I can't spread it if I'm around the same people that have already got it.
Right.
So at a certain point, I have to go out into the world, right? You can't be a disciple with a whole bunch of disciples, right? You got to go. I mean, you can, but not an effective one.
Right.
So that's what we were talking about last time. Go and make disciples of these people. That's what or make disciples of the world. That's what Jesus told us to do. But when you go, that's the thing. I was talking to one of my guys that's really influential, been really influential in my life and helping me, with the Lord. He saved my life. But he said, because I was like, I don't want to do anything. I play drums, I play instruments. So there's always somebody want me to come to their, play like a jam session or, whatever. And it's like, yeah, I'm not really going to do that. You know what I'm saying? I go to church, I go to work, I do this, I do ministry, I do, sobriety, and then I go back home. But he said, I'll go to a show. He was talking about himself. I'll go to a show. I'll go to a concert. I'll go out to eat. I'll go, we'll do whatever. But you really have to ask yourself, why are you there?
Right.
What is your purpose for being there? Right? If your purpose for being there is to drink with everybody else, that's not where you need to be at, right? If you're going to somebody's house party to, it's like, yeah, we go to this Christmas celebration. If there was somebody, or we go to this wedding, there are always, sometimes at weddings, people aren't as, they don't have the same convictions that we do. And so they might have some champagne or something at the wedding. That's not why I'm there. It's not to get loaded off of your free champagne. The reason I'm here is to celebrate your day.
And here's the thing, and that's when it comes into being all things to all men, that thing that people misconstrue and say, well, they're all getting messed up. That's where I go and get messed up with them so I can talk to them about the Lord. And that's not the case. They won't
listen to me if I'm not high with them.
Right, exactly. Now, that's where you have to learn to kind of carry yourself in a different manner and be that example, you know what I'm saying? Especially in those situations where your goal is ultimately to minister to people and be that person, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, let me clarify, you know what I'm saying? Jesus' first miracle was turning water into wine, right? Jesus drank wine. There was the scene, or the part in the Bible where he goes to the party where they ran out of wine, and he made there be more
first
wine,
recorded miracle,
right? First recorded miracle and all that. Wine drinking is not a sin, but it does say keep a sober mind. You know what I'm saying? And when you're being a disciple and you're supposed to be ministering to people and that's your calling and that's what you're supposed to be doing, you don't want to be drunk on the job. You know what I'm saying? That's what you're sent to do. You know what I'm saying? Now some people,
and the easiest way to get drunk is by drinking some alcoholic products.
You know what I'm saying? So it's not like that, but there's like people who like you, for instance, you already talked about it. There's no point in me we've already kind of told your business out here, so it's not like I'm telling anybody anything they don't already know, but you're not the kind of guy who can have a drink and live his life. You know what I'm saying? You can't come home with your wife or your family and just be like, all right, I'm going to have me one and I'm going to go to bed. You know what I'm saying? That's it. You know what I'm saying? I feel like there's some people that can like have a couple drinks a year. You know what I'm saying? There's other people who can have one drink, but they have one drink every night. And now you're already having a problem because you're doing something every day, right?
Yeah.
And then there's the next step, which is, oh, I'm just trying to work just so I can get home and drink. And then the next step is, I drink all day, every day, wreck my car, get into trouble, and all that mess. You know what I'm saying? And that's where you once you get past that, like, right. Once you get past that first level, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's nothing wrong, you know what I'm saying? If there's like one day out of the year.
Yeah, but from where I'm at and from where I've been, I don't want to even
open that door up.
Yeah, I don't even want to go there with people. Like, it's just best.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Everybody has to.
Man, it's just best if you just don't even have liquor. Like, yeah, can you drink some wine and not be sinning? Yeah, it's possible.
But why, why open the door for that?
Yeah,
problem?
why even? That's one of those things that the enemy can use to just,
right,
you know,
dig into your
because
spirit.
When you're
everybody in our family has this thing. If one is good, 10 is better.
Exactly.
We're not the kind of people.
That's another saying in sobriety and throughout like AA and stuff.
We're not the kind of people who can partake in these things.
One is too many and 1,000's never enough.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's it.
But that's the thing is why it goes back to that. Why are you at this event? Are you at this event to do what these people are doing? Or are you at this event to shine the light of Jesus, right?
Exactly.
And to be a disciple and an ambassador for his kingdom. Why are you at this event, right? And that's another thing.
Why are you a disciple of Jesus? I love this saying. There was a pastor talking about it. He says, nobody wants you drunk on the job.
Well, first off, let me say two things. One is, why are you drinking?
Right.
Right? Well, I need to relax. Well, why can't you relax anyways?
Right.
Why can't you relax by kicking your feet up and reading? You know, right. There's something wrong. And the reason that people drink or the reason that people do drugs is to make themselves feel different than they already feel. And there's something wrong in that. Why can't you feel whole? And why can't you feel pleasant? And why can't you feel at peace with the love of God already? Something's wrong in your life if you can't feel at peace or whole, and you have to make yourself feel a different way than you already feel naturally, right?
That's what you said.
You need to work out, or you need to exercise. You need to do something. Secondly, being drunk on the job, you never know when Jesus is gonna call you. Once you have kids, and it might be in the middle of the night, you might have to. Somebody might get sick. Somebody might need to go to the hospital. I can't drive if I had some drinks. Right? I can't drive if I'm high. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yes, is having a glass of wine with your dinner a sin? Possibly not, but I said possibly not because it is to me. You know? But possibly not. But then what happens if your child is sick, has 100 degrees temperature, which happens all the time, and you need to take them to the hospital, and now you can't. Now it's not just about having a glass of wine or not. It's about putting your child's life in danger. Now thinking about all of us being children of God. What if somebody calls you?
Right, in the middle of the night.
Right after you had your last drink and headed to bed. Well, I'm not doing anything wrong because I'm just going straight to bed. Well, this person really needed you. They were on their last straw. And, you know, and that's the one that broke the camel's back. And now they're, you know, we know so many people that aren't here anymore that maybe if we had been, you know, I've never gotten a call from somebody necessarily that's not here the next day, but I'm sure that that's happened before where you just want to be at the Lord's expense all the time. You want to be at his beck and call all the time. You know, if somebody calls you, man, when's your shot? It's just like being trained up for the NFL or for like UFC. If they call you, you know what I'm saying?
You don't want to miss your hour of visitation.
Bruh, if they call you to play for the Falcons tomorrow, you want to be ready if that's your thing.
Right.
You know, if they call you to play for the biggest, you know, church event tomorrow, you want to be prepared. If they call you, like last Sunday, I had gone down to the Ararat church, and Pastor Danny from the City on the Hill had sent this prayer cloth and said, just take this to them. So I'm thinking, I'm going to take it to them, I'm going to hand it. And then he puts on me, don't just hand it to them, pray for them when you hand it to them. I was like, okay, so I'm going to wait till after church. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to wait till after church.
Let the pressure build a little bit.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to go in the back room and then we're going to pray. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Man, I'm telling you, as soon as they cut the live feed off, so nobody, like the whole world, it wasn't broadcast to the whole world.
Yeah.
But as soon as they cut the camera off, my Aunt Janet was like, John David has something for us. If you'll come up on the stage. And I was like, you know what I'm saying? But because of this ministry and because of our prayer time and because of our time in the Word, I wasn't fazed at all. I really was fazed in my flesh. But I put it back on God. And that's what you can do when you're walking according to His will.
Right.
It's like, man, I don't have anything to say to these people, right? But I'm putting it on you. You brought me here today to do your work, so I hope that you have something to say. And absolutely, I looked down and my pastor had already written, "It is done," on the envelope. And I was like, that's what it says here, right? And so it is done. Well, what is done? Well, the Lord says that ask and it shall be given to you. Seek and you shall find. And He will do exceedingly abundantly more than you could ask or think. So if we could ask or even think it, He's ready to do exceedingly abundantly. And it just started flowing forth. And then I prayed over it. And it was just a great time in the Lord. And it had nothing to do with me. Mm-hmm. Which is, you know, the best part about this whole walk is it ain't got nothing to do with me. It's all on God.
How are things going over there?
They're doing real good. They're trying to make some moves in there, you know, and purchase the building that they're in. You know, they're still kind of in the midst of purchasing that building. So everything's good, you know.
That's what's up, man. I haven't been out there in a while. You know, I could see things on Facebook, but all you get is the screen. I didn't know how the congregation was growing or any of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? I need to go out there. It's just
yeah, and the Ararat Men is really good too on Saturday. I always like trying to tune in if I can. You know, I was at the house the other Saturday. I usually work on Saturdays, but I was at the house the other Saturday, and because I was a little bit under the weather, but it was just a blessing. All things the Lord.
I watched one of those where their dad was up there talking about when he died and got brought back to life, like he had died in the bathtub.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, and Janet came in there and prayed over him and brought him back like he was cold as ice. You know what I'm saying? Like, and they came to the hospital and it was like they don't know how. You know, it was like this miraculous thing. You know, and I'm not as accustomed to the story where I could just spit it off like that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that was one thing that kind of really like spoke to me. That was amazing to me, you know what I'm saying, where he had just like completely should have been dead and died technically, you know what I'm saying, was really dead in the bathtub and was experiencing that whole thing and then was brought back and called back, and that was really cool, man.
Well, you know that all of the amazing stories we hear about that sound like old Bible stories,
right?
You know, about our Uncle Aram, who is our Uncle Harry's uncle. I mean, our Uncle Harry's father, mm-hmm. And our Uncle Sam, who is our pastor's father. It's right. His uncle, and he is our Aunt Janet's father.
Right.
Because Uncle Harry was Aunt Janet's father. So it's not too far, and all of these stories about Uncle Aram, the Lord like actually teleported him through Texas one time in a car, and he called down the rain in California. There was a big drought, and the news channels were out there and just laughing at him because it hadn't rained in a long time. And he's out there in his bathing suit. It starts swimming in the sand, you know, and then the sky opens up as everybody's laughing to him because the Lord told him it was going to rain. And then him praying on the mountain with his angel. You know, it's just not that far removed from us. And it's not about the person, it's about the call of God and them answering that call. And it's not about...
It's nothing special they did. It's not about a bloodline. It's not about, I was this person's son, so now I can do it. You know what I'm saying? It's really about, what are you willing to do and where you willing to give yourself completely over.
Yeah, it's not about
Lord.
It's not about a a human bloodline. It's about a spiritual bloodline.
Exactly.
Of Jesus shedding that blood for the remission of our sins, and
anyone
us
who's
becoming
in
a part of His
Christ
kingdom.
is now heir
A
to
new
this,
creation,
right,
an heir according to the promises
of Abraham, right? And you are now the seed of Abraham,
That's
which
it.
the blessing of Abraham they talk about. That is being a blessing to the nation. Well, how are you a blessing to the nations? You know what I'm saying? Well, that is sharing Jesus with them. You know what I'm saying? He is the blessing. That is ultimately what it all boils down to. You know what I'm saying? And you do get blessed through that. You know what I'm saying? Throughout your entire life. But the real blessing is in being that blessing to others. You know what I'm saying? And bringing them to Christ. And I truly believe that. You know what I'm saying? That when you accept Christ, now you are supposed to take that role as being a blessing to the nations, being a blessing to everyone you come into contact with, and showing Christ through you. You know what I'm saying? When you see me, you're not supposed to see me. You're supposed to see the works of Christ through me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's the real deal. You know what I'm saying? What is
True.
True,
Real.
True.
Yeah. It's old. Anyway, Trillville. It was a little scrappy thing.
Yeah.
Back in the day. Young Tick, what was it, Little Tick? He used to dance back in the neighborhood. Nobody even remembers all that. All them East Side people remember old Little Tick dancing back in the day.
But
anyway,
it's funny. I'll tell you something, bro. I just meet you and other people that I've been around. You know what I'm saying? That were from a different era from what I'm from. Just in conversation and whatnot, you know what I'm saying? I have picked up so many things that people like don't even know like where it comes from, like how I know all this stuff, and it's just so funny because I grew up around so many older people, right? Like the other day, I made myself laugh because we were doing something, and you said, men wearing women's clothing and cross dressing, and when you said cross dressing, I had popped up a picture of crisscross. You know what I'm saying? And
turning the clothes, people watching this might not even know who crisscross
right,
is.
Like,
maybe you can put up a
like,
picture. Maybe you can throw up a picture.
Well, know what I'm talking about, and it's not for everybody. Like that's what's fun for me is like dropping those little jokes that only some people are gonna get. You know what I'm saying? And if they get it, they'll really get it. If they don't, then they'll want to figure it out. And it sends people on a Google loophole. You know what I'm saying? Like they just start falling down the trail. The bunny trail,
You
and
get
so
stuck in it.
it's just funny to me to do things like that.
Man, I'm just telling you,
pull references
at some point in life, style and fashion, and that's the way the Word of God is. We were talking about that last time, where the world just continuously, everything keeps recreating itself. It's always coming back, and it's like this. This thing, but in the end, there will be an end, and the Lord will prevail in the end. But just like that, as far as fashion, I'm waiting for that to come back.
Waiting for the
backwards, bruh. I'm gonna be all about it. You're gonna see like a hood backwards, like with stuff written. I'm gonna be all about it.
That was like, to me though, that's like the dumbest gimmicky thing. They were just trying
for anybody who doesn't
to do something different.
For anybody who doesn't know who crisscross is, it's the young kids. Well, when they were young kids years ago in the early '90s, crisscross will make you jump. And it was a song called "Jump" was their most popular song, I believe. You can comment below if there was a more popular song that you think was more popular, but "Jump" was. And they turned their clothes around, so they wore their pants. They got these really big baggy jeans and turned their pants and their shirts around. These two little kids. I think both of their name was Chris. I think both. I know one of them's name was Chris because
was it Chris Cross
like
the words crisscross, or was it like CHRIS cross? Like
I don't remember. That was back before I even could buy rap albums. That was I remember we used to have I don't know, and this is before time. This shows my age too. But we used to buy tapes. You know what I mean? And man, Grambo, my mom's would come in, and I had this drawer I would keep my tapes in. And she would come in. I remember her finding Master P, Ghetto Dope, and he might have been in he might have had some, horrible pictures in the bathtub with, you know, women bathing suits and champagne or something, you know. And that was Buddy. Yeah, that was it. That was it. Any 3-6 Mafia where they had the, you know, skulls all over it, and that was it. It was done. It was done. I remember Kid Rock's album was called Devil Without a Cause. My mom saw Devil on it, and it was not having it.
Right.
It's not having it. All of those got thrown into a fire. So
right.
we had tape burnings back in
tape burnings.
We did. We had, I just want you to know, Kid Rock, 3-6, you know, DJ Paul, Juicy J, Project Pat, all of y'all, Master P, Silk the Shocker, Mystical, all of y'all got burnt in my house. I just want you to know it wasn't me though.
So this is something that brings a question into my mind, which is, you know what I'm saying, when you force a kid to live a certain way, right? So, like, there's two opposing sides that I've seen personally. We have the Lilayans on one side, and then we have you guys, right? You and your brothers and all that, right? The Lilayans were brought and raised in a Christian household where everything was, I would say, you know, just that's the way it is. You know what I'm saying? They were raised that way, and that's what they knew, and they didn't go out and act crazy, right? You guys got taught the same thing, and, you know, Jesus is the way. We don't do that. You don't sin. We're going to burn your tapes if you have them. You know what I'm saying? And you guys went out and were like, well, screw you. Now that I'm free, I'm going to do whatever I want. You were wrong. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, where did that separate off differently? And where do you, like, get that rebellious nature where you want to run from it? Because then you hear, like, the pastor's kids, right? Like, you always hear the pastor's kids are the worst kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, how is it that, like, what is the difference in that? How you have some people who do that and they follow in it and they really commit and they want to be disciples of Jesus and they don't go off and do a bunch of crazy things. You know what I'm saying? And then the other ones, they hear all that, they're raised in that, and they like, well, screw you. I want to do whatever I want. You know what I'm saying? What do you think that separation is?
Yeah, keep talking, because there's a scripture I had the other day that was just about that. Because, you know, I was talking to, you know, somebody, and I had not had the best past with this person. I had totally offended, just basically helped ruin this person's life for a few years.
Right.
And so it was so bad, I'm just not even going to name who it was, but they know who they are, because, well, they will once I say this. They're like, why couldn't you have made these changes in your life sooner? Why couldn't you have done it now? Why couldn't you have done it this? And I was always asking God that. And here it is. And I was reading Oswald Chambers' My Utmost for His Highest the other day. It was a few days ago. It was 2 days ago on Sunday. And in Galatians 1:15 and 16, and I'm not going to read the whole thing, but in Oswald Chambers' My Utmost for His Highest, it's a daily devotional that I really, really like about being a disciple and, you know, being a missionary. And he actually had schools to help build missionaries. But anyway, it has a scripture at the top of the daily devotional, and then scriptures throughout it. But Galatians 1:15 and 16, a part of it, I think it's 15, says, when it pleased God to reveal His Son in me. Right? So, you know, like we always talk about, or like we talk about a lot, we all can't be hands, we all can't be feet, we all can't be a belly, you know, we're a full body of Christ. And just like you've been places I haven't, I've been places you haven't, other people, you know, I always had a dad. I had a real great dad. So there's somebody else who may not have had a dad, you know, who can minister to someone who grew up without a dad better than I can. There's people who have been through rape and molestation, and it's like, well, why did they have to go through that horrific stuff? Well, for such a time as this, you were created. Everything the Lord can turn around what the enemy meant for evil and turn it around for good. So all of the violence, all of the, you know, drug dealing and addiction and violence and guns and gangs and everything that I've been through is there's a reason for it. And there's a reason that the Lord, had me go, pulled me back when he pulled me back. Because when it pleased, like I said, and that just blessed me the other day, Galatians 1:15, when it pleased God to reveal his son in me. Because now it's like, man, we know where JD was. You know what I'm saying? It's not just like, man, that guy was in the church, and there's a place for that. People who have always done the will of God and been there and been here, been real, But then there's a place for this guy here who was locked up, who was, throwing up blood, about to kill myself, or about to die in addiction, and just living for the world and living the most selfish life that you can ever live.
Right.
And it was everybody else's fault. Like a big 30 going on 3 years old, like a temper tantrum, and if I didn't get it my way, you were going to pay for it.
Well, there's that, and I think that shows like the after effect of what happens, but I'm saying like, at what point did you let's like kind of take a step back to what made you kind of want to go down that path?
I think that it just...
What intrigued you about the street life so much that you wanted to leave the church life and quit listening to the Bible, which you grew up in church, around godly people?
What you put in is what you get out. First off, what you put in is what you get out.
Right.
There's a feeling that you get inside from sin.
Right.
Like you're getting away with something.
Right.
There's a feeling of evil that is enticing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's like this dirty feeling that is enticing, right? The first time that I drank alcohol, or the first time that I did drugs, I felt out of control. It was gross. It burnt my esophagus. The first time I drank liquor, it was gross. It was like drinking, poison. And I hated it the first time. I had to practice being an alcoholic. I had the first time that I did drugs, I felt out of control. I didn't know where I was. It was crazy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I felt like my mind was blown and I was out of control. I had to practice, continuously do it, and practice being, doing drugs. So it wasn't something that I just, boom, I'm here, I'm doing this. It was like, I did this, I got away with it. Now that's what the devil stokes in your life and in your children is, oh, you got away with that. It's like that sin, it's like a little ember of sin gets into your spirit and then stokes itself. That's why it is so important. The one of the most important things is keeping your children involved in something else. Right. That's why it's so important not to just give them a PlayStation or a TV and set them over there. Another part of it was everything. My friends at school are watching Boys in the Hood. My friends at school are watching Friday. You know what I'm saying? You gonna get high today. What's getting high? What are they what's Ice Cube talking about? My friends at school, my friends in the neighborhood are listening to NWA, are listening to Masterpiece Ghetto Dope, are listening to, to all of these people that, and that's what it is. What you put in is what you get out. So now I'm hearing about this lifestyle and I want to find out what's so wrong with that. Right? Also, it's not only setting, it says in the Word of God that an idle mind is the devil's workspace, right? So that's where he works, infectiously works. So if there's somebody sitting around, they're going to think of something bad to do. You have to keep your children busy and organize their day from the beginning to the end, from the top to the bottom, and be very careful about who you surround them with. Surround them with good people. You know what I'm saying? Keep them in church. Keep them in activities. Keep them in good places. Keep them in sports. Keep their minds on something.
Like a guy like me who, I don't want nobody to tell me what to do or control me. So when you start doing that, I'm going to start finding ways out of it. And wanting to fight against that. So what happens when you have a kid that does that? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's just about something productive. You know, I think that, you know, you have to, and it's tricky because every child is different.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But first off, you have a very small amount of time.
Yeah.
To capture children's interest.
I think that, though, you have to be very careful in this. Is not to. You got to make your kids like you.
Exactly.
They have to look up to you. You have to be somebody
and
that's
give them something to look up to.
Right, that's
not
it.
something bad.
Because that's one thing, like Benji and Nat and all them, they look up to their dad. You know what I'm saying? For me, man, you know what I'm saying? My dad was like my best friend. You know what I'm saying? So I started wanting to be like him. Quite frankly, the reason I did a lot of the things I did is because, bruh, I felt I didn't like myself as a kid, you know what I'm saying, early on, you know what I'm saying, I just self-conscious and all this, and doing things that I would, like you talk about that feeling like you're getting away with something, it gave me a feeling of power, bro. I got this freedom, bro, you know what I'm saying, I can go out and do all this stuff, I'm breaking the law, I'm doing whatever I want to do, nobody can tell me what to do, not the government, not the police, nobody, you know what I'm saying, nobody can tell me what to do, and that felt like some power, and I had that for the first time, and I liked it. I felt empowered by it, you know what I'm saying? Not just that, but these people like me, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I never got along with the preppy cool, like not the cool kids, the preppy kids that were, you know what I'm saying, in school and doing all that. I didn't get along with them. You know who accepted me? The street kids, the thugs, the idiots, you know what I'm saying? The people that, you know, were out, you know, stealing things and smoking cigarettes and all that stuff in middle school, you know what I'm saying? Those are the kids that took me in, you know what I'm saying? So it's like you kind of emulate who accepts you, you know what I'm saying? And you want to, it's all about a social thing. Everybody wants to feel accepted and wanted, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, well, that's who accepts me, so that's who I'm going to be like, you know what I'm saying? That's what I want to.
You know what I just realized while you were saying that? It's not hard to be accepted by people doing some garbage.
Yeah.
Like, all you got to do is the garbage they're doing.
Right.
You smoke some cigarettes? Yeah, come on over here. You listen to garbage music? Yeah, come on over here. Hang over here with us. You steal? Yeah, well, we'll get him to do this for us.
Right.
Right? All you need is a little bit of money or the will to go steal some money.
Right.
Right? To hang out with those kind of people. To really like be an athlete or be smart or get accolades, to hang out with people who are really about doing something, and the people who are like running businesses now, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
While I was wasting my life dealing dope and, you know, being a scumbag. Like the people who are really opening up businesses now, who were like the captain of the football team and like the really studying, getting awards and accolades in school. They really had to do something for that. There was real practice time. There was real study time going into that. You know what I'm saying? And until now, I didn't spend any time practicing or studying anything. You know what I'm saying? So now at the end, you know, or now, you know, 30 some odd years down the road, now I'm studying the Word of God to show myself approved and
there's
you know,
something to be
making
said
up
for all that too. You know what I'm saying? I was like, bro, that's so stupid. I always thought like that's so stupid. You're gonna spend all this time working and getting paid so little when you can go do all this and make all this money. You know what I'm saying? And not spend all that time, bro. But then I look at all the people who did all that, right, and did all these big licks and always trying to have $1 million scheme and how they're gonna get rich quick and they're gonna do this, and they're still broke. They don't have nothing to show for it. You know what I'm saying? And then I see your brother Jesse, who's now buying his second house. Got a family, beautiful house, you know what I'm saying? 2 cars, everything, you know what I'm saying, that we talk about having, you know what I'm saying? And he's the principal of a school. He did the slow and steady rate, you know what I'm saying? Did the slow and steady path instead of the quick and easy path, you know what I'm saying? All these quick and easy people are broke, about to go having to stay at their mama's house, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's the thing is that I've had a lot of money pass through my hands.
What makes more sense? Yeah.
But that's exactly what it did, was pass through my hands.
Right.
I was talking to somebody who was a big time dope boy out on the West Coast, and he was like a good friend of mine. And he was like, you know, that's the thing is that first off, the people that are around you always want something.
Mm-hmm.
They always want something. You don't have dope. You know what I'm saying? You hang around a whole bunch of, you know, people that pop pills, run out of pills, and see how many people you have hanging around first off. right? You might have a whole bunch of good-looking ladies hanging around you. If they pop pills and that's why they're around you, see what happens when you run out. First off. Second off, you're always on the hunt. You're either trying to do something or running out or trying to get some more or hunting some more. You know what I'm saying? If you're about, smoking, if you're about dope, if you're about pills, whatever kind of drugs you're about, if you're in the dope game, you're always on the hunt for something else. If you're in the being an alcoholic game, you're getting something else to drink. You're making sure your bar is stacked up. You're making sure you got something in the fridge cold for when you get home. It's just constantly stressed out about do I have enough? Is it going to be there when I get home? How do I get more?
Right.
And that's the only reason those people are around you. That's the absolute only reason. I had one of my best friends, my best friend in the world was like, I had stopped smoking and drinking. And he was like, yo, let's go to the park and run or something. Let's do something.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? We're best friends. It wasn't about that, smoking or drinking. I might still smoke, I might still drink, but that has nothing to do with our relationship and us being brothers.
Right.
Let's find something else to do. You know what I'm saying? And out of that's where this came from. You know what I'm saying? But it's all about what kind of, also being that person. A lot of people think, well, I'm going to put my kids in sports, but I'm going to sit in front of the TV and watch garbage TV. And,
Goes back to the episode that came out the other day. Nobody wants a fat guy to tell them to work out. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like, no kid is going to respect you telling them they need to go outside and be active if you're the fat dad watching.
I could have told you to go to church and be a good Christian and, whatever. But
do as I say, not as I do.
Yeah, but most of your life you were seeing me duck off.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And be in the street and be about, trying to get, feel some other type of way.
Right.
Because I wasn't happy with myself and I didn't feel comfortable in my own skin, so I was trying to be somebody else. I think, and that's what it is too, is you have to love your children and build them up and build their self-esteem. If it's always, what are you doing? Clean your room, get your work done, eat your food, go to bed, right? That's not how you raise somebody who has high self-esteem.
Right.
You know what I mean? Now you want to have humble kids as well, so they don't think they're better than anybody else and getting beat up at the bus stop. But you do want them to have a level of self-esteem where they don't feel horrible about themselves and want to be somebody else. So they're always trying to prove themselves to somebody else. That was another thing. I was always a chunky kid, and so it was like I was always trying to be, somebody else or be cool to somebody or, be a gangster rapper. And, then there's just a whole world that goes along with being a musician. Now you want tattoos and to play the guitar, play the drums, or, most of the drummers that you grow up watching in rock and roll are into, devil music or something, you know what I'm saying? Right. And then most of the rap artists are into drugs and guns and violence.
And that's the thing, this is something that makes me laugh, you know what I'm saying? Like, all these rappers who are making all this money and all that, talking about like, oh, we were this, that, and the other thing, we were so hard. If you make it as a rap artist at 16, there's not a whole lot you could have done, you know what I'm saying? Like, you only had so much time. You might have done one or two little things or something here and there to like be able to say you did it. You might have gone to jail for a couple months, but if you blew up at 16, you ain't really struggled. So I don't want to hear you talking about the struggle.
You just had a pistol in your backpack at the wrong spot, and you were smoking some weed in the studio.
Right.
That's about it.
Right.
That's all you could have done.
NBA YoungBoy talking about the struggle all the time when he blew up at 16, bro.
And had a broken neck for 2 years.
You might have stayed at your grandmama's crib in the hood for years, but that's not the struggle. Because somebody was taking care of you.
I promise if that man was robbing people and holding people up with that halo on his head, he is the most gangster person I've ever met in my life.
Right.
Like 8 years old,
Right.
kid has screws in his forehead holding people up at the gas station.
Right.
Like, I mean, that's how I had to go
Imagine
down.
getting robbed by Frankenstein.
That's how I had to go down. That's how I had to go down. For him to really be living that life,
Right.
you know, I mean, I don't know.
I mean, that's what I'm saying, bro. But anyway.
But that's what it is that people, to be that person, and you start, you know, making these rap tunes, especially in
that
rap.
stuff.
You start talking about that stuff, and then somebody puts you to it.
Right. Somebody gonna check you up on it. You know what I'm saying?
And so it's and so you just kind of have to be that person. That's where you get into these court cases. Did, you know, like Melly, you know, in prison for murdering his 2 friends in a car. Did he do it? Did he not? I don't know if he did or not. If he did, it's because he had rapped about murder. I wake up in the morning, I got murder on my mind. Now you got to be about that.
Gangster stuff. Now you got to live all that.
Yeah.
Talking about
If he didn't do it, the reason that he's wrapped up in it is because the songs that he writes about are murder on my mind.
Right.
Like, you know, blood all over my whatever, you know.
I forgot who it was, but I was listening to an artist talk about, you know, the music they write. He says, I don't ever want to put something in there that I don't want to go through, because I've learned as a pattern in my life. When I talk about something on the track, it always comes back around where I have to experience that. You know what I'm saying? So I want to talk about, I think it was Quan, Rich Homie Quan. He's like, I want to talk about getting some money. You know what I'm saying? That's it. I just want to talk about being rich and having money and being with all these girls. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what I want to invite into my life. I don't want to talk about killing nobody.
Yeah.
The next thing I know, I'm in a position where I'm having to stare down a pistol. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I've just seen it throughout my life that every time I talk about somebody or talk about something, that's what the next thing that happens in my life is. You know what I'm saying? So I always take very extra precaution to talk about positive things and good things. You know what I'm saying? Inviting those into my life. You feel me? So you can't. It's just like you put that energy out there and it comes back to you. You know what I'm saying?
And even when you're not trying to,
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many times that, you know, we've been in a club or in a parking lot that got just shot up, just
right.
lit up, and we're, you know, it's like there's just so, and we weren't even doing anything wrong.
Right.
We were just going to, you know, go to the open mic night or something. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, there's so many different, man, there's so many times I've been, you know, well, not so many times I've been robbed, but I've been hustled a few different times. Not so many times, but I've been hustled once or twice. And, you know, the person that got an upper hand on me and, you know, was strapped up when I wasn't, or, you know, was quicker to pull a pistol on me before I was quick to, you know, because I wasn't really about shooting anybody, you know what I'm saying? And they were really about shooting me over some money,
right?
You know, and so it's like I've got the drop on me before, even just being kind of a regular guy, just kind of hustling to pay my rent,
right.
Not even a, you know, a goon or a shooter or whatever,
right.
You know, and you know, you'll run up on that stuff even just being a regular kind of guy if you're living that kind of lifestyle. You just tiptoe into it thinking you're just gonna sell a little dope to have some free dope yourself, or you're just gonna, you know, sell some weed. Man, you're gonna run up on I had a situation with this guy who was upset with me because I'm now selling dope in his neighborhood, and I didn't realize. You know, and I didn't realize that where I had gotten my, you know, stuff from was better than his stuff. And then he said, well, where did you get this? Oh, the white dude over there. Now I have a name with the wrong person. Right. You know what I'm saying? This guy has monstrous pit bulls in his backyard. Probably eat you. You know, right. That's not somebody I really want to, you know. I wouldn't even say the guy's name on camera. Right. You know, but he knows who he is.
Right.
He was not, you know, and so many years have passed now. He probably forgot about me if he's still around. I'm sure he is, but you know, he was not happy with me, and I was running a studio, and you know, I had my door kicked in, and like I said, I was just really regular people. I wasn't some kind of, you know, Suwu gang, like, you know, tattooed faced. I mean, you'll find these white dudes in the hood with all gold. I mean, I've had grills before, but like all gold, real like permanents and tattooed faces and, you know, like demon tattooed across their forehead. I'm not that guy. I'm like regular people in comparison to some real goons, you know? And I still ran up on being hustled and robbed and had my door kicked in. And that's just what comes from that lifestyle of being, you know, I'm just going to smoke some weed. Well, you got to buy weed from drug dealers, unfortunately. You're in Georgia. You know what I'm saying? That's how it happens. You know, until there's a dispensary, that's where you buy your weed. It's the same place that people buy meth and pills from.
Right.
So, congratulations. You're now a part of the hood. And you just bought your dope from the same place that somebody who probably robbed somebody bought their dope from. It's not, you know, there's 7 degrees of separation they talk about. I don't know if that's true or not, but there's supposedly 7 degrees of separation from one person to anybody else on the planet. So you're 7 degrees separated. If you're buying, you know, you're buying some weed from a trap house, you're 7 degrees away from somebody who probably shot somebody in the past month.
And not just that, but when you look like I look like, you know what I'm saying? People that run a trap house won't take advantage of you if they can, bruh. Like, no joke, bro. I ran up on this one house one time because, like, my guy didn't have nothing at one point, right? So I had got with a buddy who sent me to another, you know, one of those situations where, first of all, never go to somebody you don't know, and don't ever go to a buddy's person. You know what I'm saying? That's an awful thing to do. Not that you should be doing it anyway, but, like, I remember going up there and trying to spend a certain amount of money, right? And I'm not going to get into all the details of all this, but what I will say is, dude came out the door with a pistol, starts tweaking, looking around, throws me half of what I paid for, right? And slams the door and locks it. And I look down and I realized I just got screwed. Now you got to make a decision. Am I going to knock on this guy's door and be like, hello, sir, excuse me, sir, but this does not look like the amount that I had purchased, you know? Or you just get back in the car and you spare yourself a shot in the face, you know what I'm saying? A bullet in the skull, you know? It's like, these are the kind of dumb situations that you get into trying to live a life that you ain't even about.
Yeah, but that's exactly what that lifestyle, I forget who it was that I was going, so, you know, the way that everything works. And if you don't know the way that everything works, I'm not going to sit here and give a, you know, dope dealer 101 today.
Right.
But a friend of mine was at another guy's house, told me to meet him at this other guy's house. So this was not somewhere that I had ever been before.
Right.
And they were all, you know, already on another planet, you know.
Right.
And so I go to the house, I go to the front door. I mean, if somebody tells you to go to the house, you're going to the front door and knocking on the door. I don't realize that at this humble abode, the front door is blocked up. Like there's a wall on the inside. So there is no real, it's like a fake front door.
Right.
You can't go in through the front door of this house. You have to walk down this back hill. Like if people are from the same neighborhood I grew up in, they probably like know what dude I'm talking about.
Right.
Now, I'm not trying to bust anybody out, so I'm not saying any names. But you're supposed to go around the back of the house. And so I'm at this front door, right? And it's like, no, come around the back. And so if you go to the front door, you're either the police or you're not supposed to be there. They said, who is it? Man, it's JD. Who? It's the white dude, big fat white dude. Like that's what it is.
Right.
Big fat white dude. And they're like, oh, come around the back. I had told them who I was. And in the state that they were, people who I had just talked to said I'm coming over, had plans to be there. I came around the back and had pistols in my face. So it's not that you are even at the, you know, place that you didn't have plans to go. It's just that, man, you carry around pistols, you're gonna get, you're gonna have to shoot somebody at some point in life. So just stay away from that lifestyle. It says in the Word of God to bring it back to the Word, to shun the very appearance of evil and make no place for the devil. And that's why you got to keep your kids in something. I mean, make no place for the devil. Keep their day packed out. Get them about something. Man, my kids right now love to draw and read. I'm going to buy them as many books as I got money to buy them. Keep reading. Right. Keep doing this. You want to play sports. You want to dance. You want to cheerlead. You want to, do that. Get them into as many activities as you possibly can. And you will, I was talking to one guy. I was working at a company. I was between jobs, and I went to go manage this place. And so I was outside with one of the employees, and he was like, yeah, I'm putting my last daughter, I have two, like a son that's a lawyer and a daughter that's a doctor already. And now my last daughter is going to Emory for her doctorate. And I was like, whoa, like, and you're working at a packaging plant? Like, he was like, yeah. He was like, I've worked my whole life, but it's all about the kids. I said, how did you raise, you got some smart kids, man. How did you do that? He said, man, activities. I never, ever had a moment of the day where they weren't busy doing something. He said, as soon as it's that scripture in the Bible, an idle mind is the devil's workshop. If your child is sitting in their room with a locked door and you don't know what they're doing, it's probably not something good.
Right.
Probably not something good. You don't know what they're doing. Man, y'all come out here. Let's do something out here.
Right. Come hang out.
Yeah, come hang out. And and not just come hang out and hit this blunt or drink this beer. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like, come hang out and let's do something. Right, let me show you how to cut grass. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Productive. Let me teach you how to cook. Let me teach you how to...
Yeah, anything that can be beneficial. Man, you don't understand how...
But that's why at an early age
your kid how to garden and how to cut grass.
At an early age and have them
respect you. Got to be somebody they want to hang out.
Right. You got to be somebody they want to hang out with so you can hang out with them and do positive things.
Yeah.
And not just make them like you because you're the cool dad who lets them do whatever they want. Yeah. But have a relationship with them so they'll want to come cook with you when you want to teach them how to cook to keep them busy.
Yeah, another thing is that kids need a parent. Kids need parents. They don't need friends.
Right.
They got friends, and friends usually, especially when you're young, friends are 50-50.
Right.
Most of the time when you're a young person, or in my experience, my friends have taken me down the paths of unrighteousness. You know what I'm saying? So friends are 50-50. Parents are supposed to be, kids don't need another friend. They need a parent. That could be, that's not the catchiest title to the show, but that could be a title to this show. Right. Kids don't need another friend. They need a parent. They need a mom and a dad. And those people, that mom and dad, don't need to be hanging out with them. They need to be a witness and a disciple. They need to be somebody for that child to look up to.
Right.
And strive to be like that.
Right,
we're up on, I didn't start the timer. We're already at 30 minutes after I started it. So, yo, big ups to all y'all, man. All the love and respect. If anybody ain't told you today, I love you. This dude here loves you with all the love of every beat of every inch of our hearts. Big ups to Fat Man, Word in the Woods. That's Word in DAWUDZ. Everybody at the Aura Rock Church, y'all know who you are. The whole Watson family, the whole Legizimon family, the whole Neil family, my cousin Gabriel. Yo, that man's a blessing. I just had to give big shots. Gabe. On the drums at Aura Rock Church, I just had to give a big shout out. Hopefully he hears this from the bottom of my heart. I was playing drums and do my Instagram live on the drums, and I went to church last Sunday, and he was like, hey man, I saw that one of your cymbals was cracked up pretty bad. I just wanted to give you this and bless me with a cymbal. So I was like, yo, I really like almost got choked up because that was just such a blessing. So anyway, I got that in the car now, about to hook it up, get back to playing, and everybody at City on the Hill, yo, y'all plug in Ararat Church, 6:30 p.m. Sunday nights, Word in the Woods with Fat Man DZ, Reverend Ronald LaBird on Sunday morning at 10 a.m. and City on the Hill coming at you Facebook Live 11 a.m. on Sunday mornings. Also check us out every week and every morning on the Morning Motivation. Yo, big shots everybody. Love all y'all.
Next week we knock on the door of the Trap House with a Bible.